guest this evening is Darsoon Ra'cayer. I butcher it every time I say it. Maybe it's on purpose, maybe it's not. One of our newer members of Gurreck clan who's been with us since November. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And let's jump into it. Why'd you join the Mercs?
I joined the Mercs because honestly, I have a quest to join all 4 of the main groups, which is Saber Guild, 501st Rebel Legion, and the Mercs. Right now, I'm standing at 3 of the 4. I am just missing Rebel Legion. And so it was on my quest to do. I honestly thought it was going to be my last because when I was first in Saber Guild and I got to meet all the rest of the groups, the Mercs were over there with their leather patch vests, and they're all kind of older distinguished men's that all are bigger than me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are all in scary armor and I am a 5'9" stick of a girl. So I'll be over here if you need me because I don't feel like I belong. And then I met you guys at Chili's at the Lilac City Comic Con when Daniel Logan was there, which was a couple years ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't feel like I belong because I'm like one of the only females here. But suddenly your guy was like, come on, join us, we'll love you. And you did, and you invited me into your family. And then I was like, okay, you guys just moved up on my list, I need to get you guys in my to-do list like now. And then I just started progressing there until I was writing notes about how to make my armor in my college notes. Then I made some armor. And then the rest is history.
And you made some nice armor.
Thank you.
And you kind of touch on a little bit, you are one of the few females that we do have in Gurreck clan, not for lack of effort on our part. But, I hate the term, but, it's a boys club, because it's not. We do try to make everybody feel welcome. But what is it like being a female in an armored costume?
To be a female in an armored costume, it feels a little bit safer than having a female, than doing any of the face characters, just because I am able to hide in my helmet, because I can, I don't have to keep that nice pretty face when I feel very not sure of something. So I can kind of relax my face and be like, not have to always put on that nice pretty face, which then it is able to help me process emotions. So if I don't feel comfortable, normally I'd just be masking it when I had my Jedi and just kind of push it to the sidelines, where it is now I'm able to be like, I really don't feel comfortable in this situation, I should go tell someone. And then the Mercs are super awesome, where I can be like, hey Baelin, I don't feel comfortable in this situation with this person who's interacting with me at this booth. And you go, I'm going to take care of it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. Because you guys have my back. Because again, I'm a 5'9" stick of a girl. And there's a reason why I carry like a 5-foot gun. Because there's sometimes not so awesome people that we have to interact with. But we try and stay nice and calm. But, sometimes you just don't feel safe. And it's super awesome to have that family background where you're going to be able to look at someone and say, someone help me. And then someone goes, don't worry, fam, I got you. So it's super nice to have that like family backing and have that kind of sense of protection, that even though I'm kind of out there as a female and I'm out there in the public eye and I am kind of on display when we're at a con, I can still be like off display and be like, yeah, you can't touch us. Yeah, you can't interact with us in an inappropriate fashion. Whereas sometimes when you're just out on the con floor as a female cosplayer, that happens. So it's kind of nice to have that kind of protection within the group of like, we're going to definitely stop this. And so you're fine.
We got your back.
Yeah, you got my back.
So tried to talk about it before. Unfortunately, I had some computer issues. Your favorite event? What's it been so far?
Yes, my favorite event. I've only done 2 so far because pandemic. So I'm hoping for the world to get healthy just so I can do more. That's the only reason why I want the world to get healthy, right? It's not like I love everyone and want the world to be healthy. It's because I want to cosplay more, right? Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. So the 2 events I did was the one that I did with the other Mercs, which I really liked because it was with you guys and I got to interact with other Mercs and be with the group, was the kick off the cons at RenCon. in February, and I really liked that just because I was able to interact with other people in armor, and I got to be with the group in my armor that was official, because I was able to kind of take it out and test run it a couple times, but it wasn't like in any official capacity. This one, it was official, and I got to be with other official groups, and I was like, yes. But then my really favorite one was when I got to go out to the naval base in early January, where my dad used to be stationed at, and got to go to the movie theater and troop with the naval families. And I got to remember like all the times I got to do that as a Navy kid with my dad. And then they took us out in the tarmac to a Vader plane because the Sky Warriors were stationed there, and they had a Vader plane that had Vader on it, and the wind was blowing, and we got photos with Vader and the Vader plane, and I got to like take a selfie with Vader in the background with the Vader plane. It's pretty cool. And then like Vader then turned around, the Vader 501st guy turned around and realized I was taking a selfie of him in the background with the Vader plane. It was like, don't worry, fam, I got you. And then like we actually took like a selfie together, and it was like great. It was awesome.
Now, one of the things that I like that I've seen you do, and you're probably one of a handful of people I've seen even climb up on a horse, but I think you're the only person I've seen taking barrels that, for those of you that watched MercsCon online or hop on the Gurreck channel and look at Gurreck Downtime here on YouTube, you will see Darsoon riding her beautiful horse, taking some barrels. And tell me about that feeling of, one, you got your badass armor on, you got your bucket on, and take me to that moment.
So before this, I had been doing a lot of test riding her, trying to get a feel to how it was riding her in the armor. So my shins were all the way twisted out, basically almost on the side of my shins, so that they wouldn't rough up my saddle too much, and hopefully they wouldn't hurt her, because they are kind of like sharp on those edges. But that also meant that I had basically no leg on her side, really. And I do a lot of riding with my legs to help control her. It's not a lot of rein, it's a lot of leg action. So I had no legs, so I was like, okay, this is fun. And so I was doing a lot more with my hands and trying to figure that out. But then also, like, you don't have a lot of this way movement in a legacy plate armor, which is what I have. So that was kind of fun, trying to figure that all out. And so as I was continuing riding, I was trying to figure that all out, and it was getting really fun. And then my sister, who was videoing me, and kind of my wingman, making sure, you know, if I fall off, I don't just lay there dead, you know, ready to call 911 if I need help. Because, you know, when you do some silly, possibly halfway stupid things, make sure you have someone there to, you know, call 911 if you need help, you know?
Yes.
So she was there, and she said, hey, go as fast as you can down the line, down the edge of the arena. And I said, okay, let's do this. So I did, and my entire bucket just kind of went flat in my face and started to kind of like slide up my head, because like so on the inside of my bucket, it's all foam to just lightly position it on my head. So, you know, it doesn't really take a lot of G's to like squish the foam and make it not work anymore. So yeah, it got squished and moved, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, as you can see when I run home, like my face is like, my hand starts to grab my helmet because it just starts kind of sliding everywhere. But after that, Kiwi, who's my horse, got really riled up. And then, being the entirely smart 24-year-old that I am, who thinks I'm invincible, says, hey, let's take this gaming horse that knows how to run barrels really, really fast, who is already hyped up because we just basically galloped across the arena, and take her through barrels with no practice or any sort of like trying and going at it slow. And actually, in the original recording of the thing, I do a warm-up circle just to kind of like figure it out and kind of get her on the right lead to go at the first barrel, which was a complete mistake. And as I do that first thing, you can kind of see her just bolt out of the warm-up circle into the first barrel. And my sister in the recording goes, she made a mistake. She did a warm-up circle. Kiwi thinks this is for reals now, which absolutely is what's happening. And you might even be able to hear me in the recording going, easy, easy, easy. This is not cantering. This is not cantering. Because it was like, she was just gone. And at that point I realized, okay, well, we're running this now. Okay, hopefully we don't fall, but if we do, at least it's on camera. Because I'm going to need a good reason why I broke this armor.
Definitely fun to watch, and it looked like something you've been doing for years. So at least as far as that little snippet looked fantastic.
I have been riding horses since I was 9 years old, and Kiwi actually was bought for me when I was 15 in 4-H as a high school project, and actually now my sister has used her, and so we've actually owned her for 9 years now. And so it's super awesome to see the horse that I took and as a project to kind of build her up into a gaming horse, and that my sister then took over and actually finished off and is now does, like, she's gone to state so many times and has just really excelled. So it's pretty cool.
So what are you kind of looking forward to next? What's your next goal, as whether it's kit or whatever? What's next for Darsoon?
So because I'm moving down to Arizona,
no!
I know, I'm gonna miss you so much. Because of that, I have gotten and to be able to talk to the people down there with SVC and making some modifications to make sure that she is better suited for the heat, because right now this kit weighs 15 pounds and is skin tight. This flight suit is skin tight, so it's not very breathable, and I've also spray painted the heck out of it, so definitely not breathable. So it does not lead well to a very hot climate. So we're definitely going to start making some heat modifications, which includes, unfortunately, drilling out the back for her helmet in order to put in a modified vent system. So back here you have like the vent system. So this is going to end up most likely getting completely taken out and replaced with one that has slots in it, and we're going to be put an extra helmet in it. Huh?
Have you not cut out your key slots?
No. I didn't have a Dremel bit small enough.
Oh, goodness.
I didn't have a Dremel bit small enough.
Oh, if I had known that, I would have fixed that for you.
Oh.
No, that's step one.
Oh, well, no one told me that because I had to do it all myself, so that's step one for heat modifications, and then after that, trying to go through and start modifications to move towards Sniper Brigade status for 2022.
So, you've watched a few of these. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Probably.
Probably? Okay. So, let's find out.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Just to make sure you understand, the lightning round is, I'm going to throw out, an either or. You have to pick. Just as quick as possible. No validating. You ready?
Okay.
Ewok or Porg?
Porgs.
Okay. Rancor or Reek?
Rancor.
Jabba or Gardola?
Jabba.
X-Wing or Y-Wing?
X-Wing.
Leia or Rey?
Leia.
Luke or Han?
Han.
Mando or Jango?
Mando.
Boba or Mando?
Mando.
That was the lightning round. See? Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
And see, you get that look that it's like, why is he asking me Leia or Rey? See, I have to validate that question, I feel, after having several of these episodes. The reason I validate that question is, which one's a better role model?
That's asking way too much. Okay, as a female, let me justify this. So as a female, I use both of them as a role model. However, Rey is a role model for someone who has endured hardship from the very beginning and has still made it out alive. And as she continues to endure hardship, she keeps on moving forward. And she keeps on moving forward even as those hardships continue into her future. Whereas Leia, she starts with this really awesome, prosperous life, and then she faces adversities. There we go. I'm a math teacher, not an English teacher. It's fine. Adversitaries or whatever.
I'm here for you. I got you.
You got me. From somewhere in a higher power as Palpatine, as she is growing through the Junior Senate and then the regular Senate, and as someone who like faces those like glass ceilings. She's someone I look up to as saying, I'm going to push through everything that stands in my way because of things need to be right, and things need to be right and just. And so we continue to push forward for the right causes and fight for what's right. And then also Carrie Fisher as just this symbol of hope, of someone who has mental illnesses but keeps on going forward, is just amazing. And then her quote for stay afraid, do it anyway. Don't wait to be confident, just do it and the confidence will follow. Like, speaks to me as a teacher, because every time I get in front of my class, I'm a little bit scared, but I stand up there and I do it anyway. So, you know, I stumbled there just because I love them both, but I had to pick Leia.
And valid reasons. I just felt I need, because I've asked that question and everybody always gives me that brief moment of a, it's not a dirty question, it's a legit question. I just felt like I had to address that.
You should have addressed that with one of the boys, not me. Like, I totally was like,
No,
I literally gave you the look of, oh my goodness, you're having me to pick between the two girls? I don't think I can.
No, I wanted to do it with you because I knew you would give what you gave.
Oh.
And there's a reason. I know how to draw these things out.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, and you do have some fantastic points about both of those characters and their arcs and why they are fantastic leads for their respective series and for, you know, the saga that unites all of us. So I wanted that from somebody other than myself. I wanted that from you, and I wanted that from a female perspective, because a lot of us doofballs don't get it, and it's nice to hear it from a newer fan too as well. You know, some of us doofballs have been around since the beginning, and we forget that it's not just ours. You know, Star Wars doesn't belong to just us old fans that have been there since the you know, Star Wars, not A New Hope, not Episode 4. It was just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Opening crawl. We have to share this with everybody, and so I wanted that from you. So thank you.
Yeah, I remember getting into this when I was probably like 8 or 9 or so, with when my younger brother, because my dad tried to introduce it to my younger brother thinking he would catch on to it. No, I caught on to it. My brother was slightly into it, but not nearly as much as I did. And then 2008, when Clone Wars came out, it came out right around my younger brother's birthday, not like the one that's closer to me, the other one. And it was meant to be like his birthday gift, that he would really enjoy Star Wars, because my dad tried to redo it with him. No, I was into it. And then Star Wars: The Clone Wars came out, and I was into it, and it just became my life. And it was just, nope, this is my life now. Dad, do you want me as your child that likes Star Wars? And then he kind of gave up and was like, oh no, you are far too much into this than I ever dreamed. I don't think I can handle this. And kind of gave up.
Unfortunately, neither of my kids are as into Star Wars as I am, so I can feel that.
Your adopted child.
You already kind of are.
It's true. I don't
So,
know how to be an adult for SVC. I only know how to be the kid of Gurreck clan.
You'll always be our kid. So, as you do prepare to depart for SVC, and Darsoon spreads her wings or saddles up her horse for a new adventure, parting thoughts, something you want to share with the next batch of recruits?
So, something that helped me get approved was asking questions. Like, I think I asked you, Baelin, like probably 1,000 questions or more. I thought it was honestly annoying you, and then I just decided, okay, I'll annoy him more. And then I asked about 10 or 7 more, you know, just whatever, I'll just annoy you. Because, you know, I'm just annoying. And so then a little bit, yeah, it's true. I cause problems, but only good problems, funny problems, easy problems. And I think something that helped me a lot was that I started asking questions before I ever touched a piece of armor. And that was all went into my concept designs, is that by the time I actually touched my armor, I had a concept design that had been vetted by the Roostalore, by you, Baelin, by like Josh, by like another person. Like, I had like gone through like so many different channels to make sure that the plan that I was working on was good enough that if I followed this plan to a T, I should get approved. And then I also kept my mind open so that when I really wanted this thing to happen and I wanted this armor look, but you guys said, no, that's not approvable. And I said, why? And I asked the why, and then you gave me a reason. And then I said, I don't like that reason. I want this for this reason. And then you said, this is why this don't work. And then I actually accepted it instead of just deciding to be a jerk and saying, I don't like your reason. I just said, okay, I understand that. How can I get this to be approvable? And then we worked on a compromise, and then we followed the compromise. But I think asking all of those questions, even when you think you're annoying, is really helpful, because when you're doing this, there's so much leeway that you can go to create your own kit that you kind of can get sidetracked based on the CRLs. And sometimes the CRLs are super confusing. And that's why we have a wrestler who knows them. So you just ask them and they know. And if you're not good at art, there's a whole bunch of us that are. And normally we have pretty decent commission rates. And we'll sit down and help you to draw stuff out. And even if you don't have people that draw stuff out, you can basically take photos online of other people's kit and say, Photoshop them all together and be like, I want this type of armor look, but with this colors and this looks and this thing and this, that, and this, and just make it just a giant photo collage. And you'll get the idea. But the idea is that you want to have a clear, thought out look before you ever touch a piece of armor, because that way you have a better chance of making it through with less approval things. I only got through 8, which is still a lot, but they were all for super tiny things because my shoulders were placed weird and we couldn't fix the shoulders weird. And then my knees were kind of weird. And so I had to trim some of them down, and then I had to take in my shirts. So like all super simple things. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, your armor is weird, because we fixed that in the concept design process. So those are my things.
Well, I do again appreciate you taking the time to chat with me this fine evening. Everybody else, please take a chance to visit the Gurreck YouTube channel and find Darsoon's weathering tutorial for doing rust. It is entertaining, enlightening, and informative.
Oops. It's not screwed up right
now. It is an amazing technique to watch, and it's entertaining to watch the videos as well.
I say lots of likes and ums because clearly I know what I'm doing, clearly.
And we don't point fingers. So, this is Darsoon Ra'cayer. I'm Baelin Halon. This has been Off the Tusk.